Hi everyone, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make Cajun shrimp and chicken Alfredo. Cajun seasoning originally came from the state of Louisiana from a group of people who had their roots in France but were immigrated to Canada, then eventually back to Louisiana. For this recipe, you will need the following: 2 chicken breasts, jumbo shrimp, Cajun seasoning, salt and pepper, garlic powder, butter, olive oil, cream cheese, heavy whipping cream, Parmesan cheese, and fettuccine. Before we begin, I would like to tell you a little bit about my recipe's history. Fettuccine Alfredo originated from Rome. As time passed, different cultures began adding their own twist to it. Sources say a man named Alfredo, and I honestly don't know how to pronounce his last name, invented it because after his wife gave birth to their child, she lost her appetite. So he came up with a simple but delicious pasta recipe. Okay, so the first step of this process actually does not involve any cooking. It is to take your cream cheese out the refrigerator 30 minutes prior to when you start cooking. Next, you'll be filling a pot with water and bringing it to a boil on your stove and cooking the noodles by the directions that come with them. This brings us into our first chemistry connection, which is conduction. Conduction is the process by which heat energy is transmitted through collisions between neighboring atoms or molecules that are in direct contact. Conduction applies to my recipe since I'm heating up a pot for my noodles. Conduction occurs in solids and liquids, where the particles are closer together than gases, where particles are farther apart. While my shrimp is unthawing, I will be cutting the chicken breast into little cubes. And I actually didn't use all of the chicken breast. I only used 2 of the slices I cut. So this brings us into a physical change, which is another chemistry connection. Physical changes are in matter which does not alter the chemical properties of the matter. The material involved in the change is structurally the same before and after. This applies to me cutting the chicken since they have the same chemical properties, they just have a different shape. Now I'm going to show you guys how I seasoned everything. I have my onion powder, paprika, and I actually couldn't find any Cajun seasoning at any store, so I used a seasoning called Creole. I think that's how it's pronounced, but it does have Cajun in it. And then that was my garlic powder. Now, there are 3 different categories of seasoning. So we have saline, I think that's how it's pronounced, which is salt, acidy seasonings, which includes lemon juice, and hot, which includes Cajun. What's this?
I don't know.
It's shrimp.
When?
Shrimp? What's this?
I don't know.
It's chicken.
Chicken.
Ooh. Next, I'll be getting my vegetable oil and bringing my skillet to a medium heat and cooking my shrimp and chicken. average time to cook the chicken is about 5 minutes or until it has browned on each side thoroughly. Oh, it does not stink. Next, I'll be adding a little bit more vegetable oil to my skillet and putting the heat back on medium to cook the shrimp. Shrimp only takes about 3 to 5 minutes, but depending on how you like it, you'll cook it for your preferred time. Now that the shrimp is done, I'll just add it onto the same plate I put my chicken on. This brings us into chemical change. Chemical change is a change of materials into another new material with different properties and one or more than one new substance is formed. Chemical change applies to my recipe through the chicken and shrimp cooking. Chemical changes occur through the process of chemical reactions. The resulting substances have different properties because their atoms and molecules are arranged differently when they get heated up on the stove. Next, I'll be making the sauce for the Alfredo, so you'll need heavy whipping cream, a stick of cream cheese, butter, and you will need some Parmesan. Using the same skillet we used to make our chicken and shrimp, we're going to add all the ingredients into it. To a medium heat, we're going to stir for about 5 minutes or until the sauce starts to bubble. Now that the sauce is bubbling, I'm going to add in the noodles, shrimp, and chicken. This brings us into our heterogeneous mixture. These mixtures are mixtures in which the composition is not uniform throughout the Alfredo together. After finishing and combining them all together as one is what makes the mixture heterogeneous. These particles can be taken apart from each other because they are not uniform. And this is the final product. My sauce was a little too thick, but it's okay because it was still good.